Wanna play? Topic for Top 5 Wednesday is 5 books that you want to see as video games, or books that you would play as video games. This topic is actually one of the best ones I've run across yet, because I love books just as much as I love video games. Being married to a gamer, you kind of get into the whole gaming world. It's hard not to. So this is my list, and I'm going to start it off with the first book, with being a comic book. Actually, it's called Death Note. I'm sure you've heard of it. Netflix is currently making its own version of this series, and I'm on the fence about that one because Death Note is originally a Japanese manga, a Japanese anime. So for the British to kind of get a hold of it, British basically to get a hold of it and remake it is scary. But William Dafoe is supposed to be Ryuk, and I always loved Ryuk as a character, and I love William Dafoe as an actor, so maybe with him in it, it'll be able to be salvaged. It won't be so horrible. Either way, anyways, going back, I went off topic, but this book is basically about a young boy who gets a hold of a Death Note book where you can write the name and the person dies. All you have to do is know the name, and you can write the circumstances, time, yada yada yada. L, one of my favorite all-time characters, I don't know if you can see him, is the detective. And I can imagine this video game being a sort of detective type book where you are L, or you're either working with L and you're trying to find Kira and stop his motives and figure out his next move. It would be a really fun detective type video game to play. So that's the first one on my list, Death Note. The second book on my list is another comic book franchise, and I've only read the first one, unfortunately. Sorry for the wrapping. I read the first one, unfortunately, but that would be Saga. Saga is a story about the two lovers who are trying to escape everybody, and they just want to be together and raise the baby, and it's a really neat story. Even though I've only read the first one, it's still there. So, but it has all these fun little characters. It's got humanoids with computer bits that are out to get them. Yeah, bounty hunters. Yeah, I can see that. Bounty hunters. And ghost children. It's got all these different worlds, different planets, different creatures, and it would just be a fun little galaxy type adventure story is what it would be. So Saga is on my list as a fun game, as a video game. The next one on my list is kind of a classic book, and I've just recently reminded of it, really. I don't have the book. What I have is this cool little tote bag. Lord of the Flies is number 3 on my list for books that would make great video games. And again, this would be a survival game. You're a kid on this island, and it starts out you're just trying to survive the elements, get food, yada yada, and it turns into having to survive those you thought would your friends, because your friends turn against you and suddenly you're running for your life from everything. It would be a definite survival game. It would be fun though to play. I love the survival games. I don't know why. I just do, but I do. Second book on my list, or the fourth book on my list. Sorry, fourth book on my list is Chuck Wendig's Blackbirds. I don't know if you can see that. Blackbird. Blackbirds is about a girl called Miriam. She can see how you die just by touching you, and it doesn't seem to matter how much she tries to change the outcome. It always remains the same. The person always dies in the same exact way. So this book, a little action-packed, more of those based off your choices, what would happen type game, I would imagine. If you've ever played the Walking Dead video game where you are given a selection of choices and you choose it, and the game kind of maneuvers around your choices. That's what I imagine this book would be as a video game, and it would still be an interesting little game to play. The first and final book on my list for books into video games, and I'm sure y'all have heard me talk about this book before. I'm sure you're probably tired of me talking about this book, and technically it's 2 books because it's a sequel, and the sequel goes right. You can't read the sequel without reading the first book. It's The Murder Complex and the Death Code by Lindsay Cummings. These books are in a post-apocalyptic land. I think I've explained it before, where you are forced to work for rations and at night, and you're not to be caught out at night because that is when the murder complex happens and you die. You might die. It depends on how fast you can run. These books would be fun in the sense that, again, it's another survival game. It's another post-apocalyptic game where you are fighting for your life. And it's not just that, there are also bits, you also wind up in different scenarios. I think in the second book, The Death Code, you actually wind up in another area with new villains, new obstacles to fight. There's just something always around the corner. Just when you think your characters are safe and you can relax, no, not gonna happen, sorry. You're gonna be murdered, possibly, if you can run fast enough. So that is it. Those are my 5 books that I think would make great video games. If you have any other suggestions, leave them below, or go over to Goodreads, Top 5 Wednesday Goodreads group. I'll leave the link for you below. And until next time, bye.